Merwe, SAK nuus.
In Kaapstad word 'n nuwe politieke party, die referendumparty, vandag amptelik bekend gestel. Die party kom uit die Kaapse onafhanklikheidsdrukgroep. Die doel is om die DA-regering te dwing om 'n referendum te hou oor of die Wes-Kaap onafhanklikheid van Suid-Afrika moet kry. Ons praat met die leier van die referendumparty, Volkryk. Goeiemôre.
Goeiemôre, Oudo. Baie lekker saam met julle te wees vanoggend.
Wat gee vir jou die sterkste aanduiding dat die meerderheid van mense in die Wes-Kaap onafhanklik wil wees van die res van Suid-Afrika?
Well, look, there's been several things that we've done. I mean, we've conducted regular polling as an organisation, and the last time we polled was in August this year, and 7 out of 10, or 68% of Western Cape voters said they wanted a referendum on Cape independence, and 58% of voters said that, that they would support Cape independence outright. And then organisations like Cape Exit, I think they've got now 850,000 people have signed up a mandate, so there's absolutely no question that there is a huge amount of support for Cape independence. We won't know exactly what level of support till we hold a referendum, and that's the whole purpose of having the provision of referendums in our constitution, so that we can find out what people want.
Sou dit nie goedkoper wees om net aan te hou druk te plaas op die provinsiale regering om 'n referendum te bewerkstellig in die Wes-Kaap nie?
Sorry, say that again, please. I missed that slightly.
Would it not be cheaper to simply continue to put pressure on the Western Cape government to call for a referendum?
Thank you. It would be much cheaper. It would be much easier. But unfortunately, the Western Cape government has stubbornly decided that it's going to avoid the democratic will of the Western Cape people on this issue, which is actually quite shameful. So, what have we done? We've got pressure groups. We've marched on Parliament. We've reduced polling. We recently handed over a letter signed by 30,000 people calling for a referendum and asking Alan Winde, yes or no, is he going to provide a referendum? So we've done everything in our power to negotiate a referendum. In fact, we agreed with the DA in 2021 before the last elections that they would hold a referendum which included a question on Cape independence, but after the election they broke that agreement. So we've tried everything else. Here we are. Effectively, the DA have called our bluff and said, look, we don't want to consult the Western Cape people democratically on this issue, and we know from internal documents that's because they're scared of the outcome. They know that the Western Cape is going to vote for Cape independence if it's given the chance. So we've done everything else. This is where we are, so now we've got to call the DA's bluff and we've got to put this in the hands of the Western Cape people and say, guys, if you want Cape independence, you can have it, but you're going to have to vote for it in 2024.
Phil, tell me, have you taken a leaf as the referendum party out of the approach by Nigel Farage's Brexit party?
Absolutely. Look, in many ways, this is a carbon copy of Brexit. And I think actually, if you look at the UK situation, there are two examples of different pressure groups here. On the one hand, you've got the Scottish National Party, or the SNP, who want to govern. They became the largest party in the Scottish Parliament, and actually had Scotland voted for independence, which it didn't. Then they would have been the government because they wanted political power. Now, when you come and look at the Brexit party, Farage actually was originally a Conservative MP. He didn't want to govern the UK. What he wanted was to force the government of the UK to listen to the people of the UK. And they created this pressure, this party, particularly to put pressure onto the government so that it would be forced to listen to the people who it's supposed to be serving. And that's exactly what we're doing in the Western Cape. We've created this party. We're not interested in governing. We know that the DA are doing a good job in the Western Cape. We want to keep the DA in power in the Western Cape, and we want them to be forced to listen to voters. And if they're a democratic party, then to democratically consult, to show that with their actions and democratically consult, even if they don't like the idea, to put the idea before the people of the Western Cape and let them choose for themselves.
It begs asking, are you, like the Brexit party, anti-foreigner, xenophobic?
No, we're not anti. We're strongly non-racial. Look, we're very pro the people of the Western Cape, and we're certainly anti the vast illegal settlement of land in the Western Cape that's going on. I mean, that's simply not sustainable, and it's extracting an enormous cost on the people of the province. But actually, we're definitely not xenophobic. What we would say to people is, look, the people of the Western Cape come first, and if people are going to come to our province, by all means come, but come legally.
And then just a silly question, but still a practical one. Should there be independence in the Western Cape, is the Springbok team then ours, or will players from that part of the world still be allowed to play as Springboks?
So, look, obviously that's a decision that would be above my station. I think there's a deep love for the Springboks throughout Africa.
Out of the system born from the process you're starting, there's got to be a real world answer to this question.
Sure. Well, look, there is, but I think, first and foremost, let's lift people out of poverty. Let's create a future where we're all going to be, living better lives and fulfilling our potential. And then let's work out how rugby team comes after. Look, there are examples, and if people want to find, Ireland would be a good example. Ireland is divided. Many people probably know that the Ireland rugby team actually represents two countries, Southern Ireland and Northern Ireland. Despite all of their troubles, they play rugby together. So if people really want to continue with the Springboks as one thing, then certainly that's happened before. But I mean, look, let's focus on the really important things first. And actually, far too much of our country is focused on it. Pretty well, the Springboks are almost the only thing that's holding our country together at the moment. Let's focus on the real issues of unemployment and poverty and the health system and education and so on.
Which is why I asked a silly but still very practical question for Craig. Hy is die leier van die referendumparty wat vandag in die Wes-Kaap bekend gestaan word. Die sangers Kate Bush en